Well, hello there, handsome guy. This little guy right here is Miss Katie's brother. Katie is the puppy I gave to Micro Farmer at the Heartland Homesteaders Picnic. Um, yeah, if you don't recall, we met this past fall, and he didn't work out for the family because they just had a lot going on to deal with the puppy at the time. So we took him back, and not sure the plans we got for him in the future. Definitely work on his puppy issues before he does anything, because we don't want somebody not to want him and rehome him again. His name is Rhino, and believe it or not, I did vacuum during the winter. We drag in a lot of stuff between firewood and going out and feeding the horses. And puppies tearing up toys, huh? Yes. So he was born at the end of May, and he's this big. And he doesn't look like he's got pit bull in him at all. He looks like a purebred black lab. But I promise, he's 3/4 pit bull. So anyway, for the bulk of the video, I did some plant rearranging, and I'll tell you why, and I'll give you updates on my other plant projects, new plants, etc. This is a cornflower. It's a Dracaena, so it's related to, well, there's actually two plants in there. This is a limelight Dracaena. These are related. Some of the Dracaena grow canes like this, and others do not. They're just foliage. These are pretty easy houseplants to take care of that I've come to notice. They don't mind my dark living room. Like, seriously, this is an east-facing window, and look around. No other windows. No other light. So they do great here. I let them dry out most of the way before I rewater them. I mist them with distilled water every once in a while. And yeah, I bought 2 gallons of distilled water from Kroger, and I've been watering and misting my plants with it because some of my plants are more sensitive, yes sir, more sensitive to chlorine and fluoride and other additives like that, non-organic stuff. So I just wanted to play it safe. This is a golden pothos. I took a cutting of it with 2 nodes and laid the 2 nodes underneath the soil and covered them up. And if you don't know what nodes are, let me see if I can find some in front of my face. It's hard because this is such a young plant, but right there, that little crotch on the back leaf. Let me see if we can focus there. There we go. There's a node. There's another one. Yeah, they're basically just like joints in the vines, but they grow roots out of them. So, and it feels still moist, so I'm not going to worry about it. Pothos are very easy to grow for anybody. They don't care if it's bright light, like next to no light, nothing. I could even move this pothos up here on this speaker where it's going to get less light, and it's going to do just fine, just because pothos are like the die-hard plant of all house plants. If you're not sure what plant to get for your situation, get a pothos, any variety. The lady at work sent me a few plants, and this is one of them. This is a satin pothos. See the little variegation on the leaves? It was looking sad. She makes her own potting mix, which contains perlite, orchid bark, and probably potting soil. I didn't ask her what her mix consists of, but I noticed it was really dry and the plant is starting to suffer. And it could just be transplant mix because she's water propagated them and then we stuck them in the soil. But this weakness right here is telling me the plant's not getting enough water. So I bottom watered it and let it set there for about 15 minutes and then emptied it. And I'm going to stick it right here in this pothos loving window. I am missing a few plants in here now. The wandering Jew plants, the inch plants, whatever you would like to call them. And I moved them to the dining room. I'm starting to get it organized and cleaned up in here, but then we brought in a crate since we got the puppy again. But I did order a nice big plant stand probably 5 feet or taller and pretty stinking wide to go in front of this window right here, because I can't fit a plant stand in front of this window and have people sit in here. That's just not going to work out. But yeah, that's coming. So these plants sitting on the table are temporary. Thank God. But this room gets plenty of light. It's not, I wouldn't consider it full sun in as far as house plants talk goes, because our full sun in here is basically like, I don't know, not as strong as outdoor talk. So you gotta remember that when differentiating between house plants and like vegetable garden, fruit plants, whatever that grow outside, the lighting spectrum is different the way they talk. I will show you a full sun area later. But so I moved my Wandering Jew inch plants in here because look at them, they're just not looking very healthy at all. I might have, there's another node right there and another one right there. 1, 2, see them? I might, oh, a third and a fourth. So I might have to break this off and re-soil propagate it. And there's still not a lot of soil in here because the roots aren't huge. It's still getting kind of new growth on it. So I'm thinking maybe they just needed more sun. And I did just water this today. I mean, I got some more pots like this, which maybe I should downsize, but I was kind of hoping to keep them in matching pots, but I guess if I'm going to move them on the plant stand in here, it's not going to matter. But in the living room, to me, it made more sense. Excuse me. Here's my other Wandering Jew plant. This one had part of the vine break off from, I don't know. So I just broke off the bad part and literally just stuck it right in there. No roots, nothing. And it will soil propagate. These are one of the easy plants like pothos and philodendron that you can do that with. They're going to be okay with it. This one was on the left side speaker of the entertainment center, so it got more sun, so it's looking healthier. So it made me think is, let's move these plants into the dining room where they're going to get a bit more sun and they'll be happier for sure. I was reading on my Planta app, and there's another house plant app, but both of them you have to pay for in order for them to give you any sort of information, which totally sucks. They're not even going to give you a freebie bit to give you a leg up on the situation. But anyway, it said that room was too dark for Transcadia, which Wandering Jew inch plant is a Transcadia. The snake plant here, it's hiding in a nursery pot, and I'm using this ceramic pot as a cover pot. Excuse me, because these like to dry out. Excuse me again, and be watered once a month, basically like cacti or succulents. They'll need a bit more water than cacti, so I'd consider them more of a succulent, but their leaves are thick and they store water up in there. It does have fungus on it, and I've got some neem oil ordered through Amazon. It's Harris neem oil, and I got it listed in my wish list. I've got a lot of things in my wish list. I've been adding it for me later, and if anybody else wants to get me something, yeah. So my wish list is huge. I did cut off some of the really badly infected leaves and just, you know, just putting it in here, not touching it with the water or anything like that, and just letting it go. Then this is a new one. This is a Belize rubber tree plant, which is a ficus, and they are, I want to say, well, they definitely are related to, but I believe they can produce figs under the right circumstance. But look how pretty that variegation is. It's like a pink variegation along with like a burgundy green leaf. I just think it's beautiful. And I only see like burgundy rubber tree plants for sale at Lowe's and most places. I bought this one at Kroger, and I even seen a burgundy there. And it looks like there's 3, maybe 4 trees there. So I might split that up and gift it out later on, but we'll see. I might do that with a lot of plants, actually. Okay, so I got some Hoyas over here. This is some sort of a Hoya publix Publix, I believe. I'm not quite sure. It came in one of these pots, and I dropped it on the way out of work. So I have this 3-inch ceramic pot here with just some cheap houseplant soil, which I wish I could have amended it with like more perlite or coconut bark or something like that, just to make it a little bit more airy, because these two, like succulents and cacti, like to dry out. So these are basically take the same care of as snake plant. Even that rubber tree plant, it's going to be that one's going to be forgiving with watering, and the snake plant will too, for to an extent, but the rubber tree plant is really a beginner plant. Can't remember what kind of Hoya this is. And she says she's got more plants for me, that so I'm excited. I've asked her, can I break you up some of my calathea or anything? You want one of my limelight trichina? She's like, no, thank you. Just like she's doing it to be kind. And the horses are out there eating. All right, let's go to another room. My sage is doing good. I see some browning at the end of a leaf right here. There's Rhino with the chickens. He's actually been pretty good with them. But nothing else is looking that way, so I think it's going to be okay. I did find it extremely dried out one day, and I do have just composted chicken manure in there. And so I added some of that houseplant mix, soil mix on top of it, and it seems to be retaining moisture a little bit better. So it's just hanging out there. The snake plant situation, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't losing a plant I paid for, if I could help it. So I'm water propagating this, and it's been in there for about a week, give or take, and no roots yet. But I've seen a lot of people that say that it takes them some time. And speaking of time, my thyme still hasn't rooted. I want to thinking about getting some rooting hormone and just putting some in the water. I mean, I'm not sure how long I'm expecting to take on this, but I think it might be a bust, because some of the leaves are starting to turn black like they were on the rosemary. Dang woody plants. I did some plant rotating today, so we got this weird side here that was to the back of the wall there, which I did on purpose to hide the spot, but honestly, it needs to fill out more on this side, so I'm bearing all my weirdness, my ugliness. This is a Calathea rosy, and I couldn't tell for the longest time what variety of Calathea it was, because I was looking at this, all this light green here, and the leaves are actually supposed to look more like that. The less light they get, the better this like burgundy color will show up. So what tells me is that this had too much light, and these are the older leaves. So the newer leaves I'm trying to protect from too much sun. So I have it on this west facing window here, which, you know, it's filtered light because of all the trees and stuff, but I'm still putting my back garden back there, so I could still grow a lot of stuff here, but this is just going to get a little bit less light to keep the color going. Calathea do like humidity, and being next to a heater, I have to watch the watering and mist it a little bit more often, but that's fine. It feels okay. Just the top layer is dried out. Underneath still feels good, and I don't need to water it quite yet. Here within the next day or two, probably so. This is a prayer plant, and prayer plants move their leaves along with the way the sun is setting, and kind of like sunflowers, and they'll fold their leaves up, straight up when it's bedtime. Well, at least this one does on the upper leaves. I'm sure it would do that more if it had more sunlight. However, then I would be losing more of my pink variegation in the stripes. And the older the plants are, they're going to lose the pink tone anyway. Like, see the difference there? But it's got some crispiness going on. I just watered this, and prayer plants demand higher humidity and such. So I stuck it up here in the bathroom where we shower 99% of the time. We give the dogs baths downstairs, but other than that, we really haven't used that since I broke my wrist. Not sure what's going on here. I want to say some sort of a watering issue, but I could be wrong. It could be that the water is sitting on the leaves too long and not evaporating. If any of you know the answer to this, please let me know. Like, I kind of regretted getting this plant after I found out how hard it was going to be to take care of. But then on the other hand, I'm like, but it's so pretty. It looks like somebody hand painted those stripes on. And then the back of the leaves are this deep burgundy. It's just such a beautiful plant. I want to try to take care of it, especially since I paid for it. But then again, it's getting that west face sun. Both bathrooms are stocked one on top of the other. Just making sure my puppy's being good because I seen chickens running. I don't see him, so it's not him. All right. Next room. This is my south-facing window, and then I have a west-facing window over there. Yes, I need to clean my screen. I know. I plan on deep cleaning this bedroom over the winter. My aloe vera plant, so I can just let it sit right here on my end table in this bright light and forget about trying to water it and overwater it like I've done and killed so many aloe that I've owned. I say so many like I've owned a lot. Probably about 5 aloe plants in total in my life. Excuse me. But it needs repotted. I need to get a cacti succulent mix or make my own soil mix. And preferably a terracotta pot. Terracotta is hard to come by this time of year unless I order it on Amazon, and they're not cheap, or I want to order in bulk and I don't like those prices either. So I've not added that to my wish list. Did come with a little bit of spotting on it, but I don't think it looks too bad. Basically, I wanted more pots this size, and I thought, well, why not get a plant and get the pot as well? Duh, it makes sense to me. So this room I would consider full sun. When I go to bed at night, I kind of close this a bit so I'm not woke up by blasting light in my face. My pillows are downstairs right now. But that's about it with that. This is a great place to put cacti and succulents in 2-inch, 1.5-inch pots. Or I could have them hanging from the curtain rod there, and I really probably ought to throw this stupid blind away, but like I said, I plan on touching this room this winter. Yeah. So I believe that's all I've got to show you for now. I will show you when I get new plants, do some rearranging if new problems come up. Just keep you updated in general on what's working out and what's not, because I've got all different kinds of lighting going on in this house and a bunch of shade. So I will definitely be getting some low light loving plants. Lila, you want to go outside? All right, everybody. I love you, and so does Jesus. And so does Lila's. God bless.